Okay, Mr. Sams.
Yep.
We are going to get into the math part of chemistry.
Let's go.
This has got a lot of math, and so this is all about what we call dimensional analysis.
Yeah, guys, you're going to use this every single day
oh my
for the
gosh.
rest
This is
of
so
the year.
important.
Yes. Do not blow this off. Do not think, oh, I'm just going to skip it. No.
If there was a podcast that you needed to watch,
This is it.
this and the next one
Yep.
are the two key podcasts to understand almost for the year. These
Yep.
are the two most important podcasts of this unit.
Yes.
If not even the year. 'Cause
Right.
they're so foundational.
We're going to teach you a way to do math the way we want you to do math in this class.
Which may not be the way that your math teacher has taught you. So there are other ways to do these problems, but you need to use our method because as we get to more complex chemistry problems,
This is the way to do it.
This is the way to do it.
Right.
All right. There are a number of rules. I'm going to just kind of have them come up with the screen, and you need to pause
Hit
and
pause.
write these down.
Write them down.
All right, you should have written all these down. So the key thing is that everything is done as a fraction. Hello, my pen is in the wrong place. Everything's done as a fraction. Everything has a unit. What's that mean, Mr. Sams?
No naked numbers.
Naked numbers? What does that mean?
Everything has to have a unit of measurement on
A
it.
unit of measurement. Arrange the conversion factors such that the units cancel,
Okay.
and then the top number gets multiplied and the bottom number gets divided. We're just going to do a zillion examples, and once you get there, you'll be fine. Oh, before we do the examples, we should talk about something. You have to understand what the different conversions are. And this is a huge list of conversions, but I want to highlight a few important ones in the metric system. This one right here, which is kilo, which means the 1,000. You can and then we can just jump down, and we can jump down to centi, which is 1/100th.
Yep.
Milli is 1,000th. And while we're at it, micro is kind of a weird one in that you have a funny looking U.
Yeah.
It's actually a Greek letter deal. And
U.
then that's a millionth. And a nano is a billionth.
Yep.
And that's pretty much the only ones you need to worry about.
Yeah.
This chart has lots of things. Another thing to say is that what you will be doing is this is the back of your periodic table that you'll get handed out. Now, if you're in our classes, if you're watching this on the internet, there are lots of conversion tables.
Yep.
But the part that you care about is the one that says conversions right through here, and that's what you're going to look at when you do these problems. So here's actually a zoom in of those conversions that we're going to use. Now, some of the conversions are not here, like how many milliliters in a liter, that kind of a thing. You need to know that from just the definitions from the from what does a milli mean and all that kind of stuff. So let's just dive in and let's do some conversions. So I have 77 kilograms. Rule number one is
write down what you know and
as a fraction.
Put it over 1.
All right, so you want to write it as a fraction. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by. Now we use these like railroad tracks.
Yep.
Now what I need to do is I need to look at my conversion factor and see if I can find something that relates kilograms and pounds. What am I going from?
Kilograms to grams.
Kilograms to grams. Now I look on my conversion table. It's not there, Mr.
Not there,
Sims.
no.
What am I going to do?
You can go to the previous one.
Yeah. Or the previous one.
There it is.
Now, here's the thing: is there's 1,000. Now, what is this going to be?
There's 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram.
Grams in 1 kilogram.
Right. That's how many of the base
or
units
1 kilo,
are in.
but this happens to be grams. You could have kiloliters or kilo.
There's 1,000 base units in a kilo. Something.
So
there's 1,000.
Now, what I like to do is I like to put on the bottom of this fraction the unit. So I'm going to put kg. I look at the letters first.
Right. Why'd you put kg on the bottom?
Because I want the kgs to cancel.
Oh, yeah.
And the kgs are here on the top. Now they're on the bottom here, and then I'm going to put the G on the top.
Right. Now the G is what you're looking for. That's what you're trying to get. That one always goes on the top.
That is exactly right. And of course, 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams.
Right.
You know, you might have written this: 1,000 grams is equal to 1 kilogram. Right.
So we turn that into a fraction.
And so what I do now, of course, is I then just take them, and you take numbers. The next rule: numbers on the top are multiplied.
Would you mind canceling those units
bottom?
for me?
Yeah. What happens is the kilograms, of course, cancel, and I'm left with gram
left
units.
with grams. All right.
And so that would be 77 times 1,000, which would be 77,000. I don't even need a calculator.
Yeah, we're not going to do that with a calculator.
Grams.
But we can. 77 times 1,000, because the 1,000's on the top and the 77's on the top, so we multiply 77,000.
That's pretty easy.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do another.
Okay, our next problem is we do milliliters to liters. All right, so I write down what I know as a fraction over 1, 0.0087 milliliters over 1, fraction over 1, right? And now I need to convert milliliters to liters. Now I see that I have milliliters on the top, so in the next fraction, the milliliters are going to go on the bottom. And is there a conversion milliliters to liter?
There is. We
So
can look
I
on
can
the
just-
metric conversion table.
Now, milli means what?
1/1000.
1/1000th.
Meaning there are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter.
Now, one way to memorize, once you know the thousand part, you need to realize the bigger unit will get the 1, the
Yep.
smaller unit will get the other number, 1,000, maybe 10,
Yep.
a million, or whatever it happens to be.
All right.
So now, in this case, in this reaction, or this problem, the 1,000 is on the bottom.
Right.
So,
we have to
numbers on the
divide
bottom
it.
are divided.
So
numbers on top are times. So you're going to
0.0087
okay.
divided by
1,000.
1,000. Now notice I'm not doing anything with the ones, because if you multiply or divide anything by 1,
Yep, ignore it. It's the same
in
number.
itself. So
Yeah,
we don't
algebra.
worry about the ones. So it's 8.7 e -6 in my calculator.
So 8.7 times 10 to the minus 6, was it?
Yep, -6.
6. And that would be what? You
Liter-
actually,
cancel the
milliliters
milliliters.
cancel, and I end up with
Liters.
liters. That's not too bad, is it?
No.
All right. All right, let's look at our next one. We want to go from millimoles to moles. So I have 4.5 mmol.
But Mr. Bergman, I haven't learned about moles yet.
But you know what milli means, Mr. Sam.
Yes, it's true.
And so if I go millimoles to moles, now
There are 1,000 milliliters in a liter,
so there'll be 1,000 millimoles in a mole.
In a mole, that
so
makes
I can
sense.
say millimoles on the bottom, so I got to get that to cancel, and I'm going to convert to moles. And milli, we just did this a minute ago,
Yeah.
milli, right? The bigger unit is the mole unit. Milli is the small unit, so that's 1,000.
Yep, so
it's 4.5.
4.5
The
divided
thousands
by-
on the bottom, so you would divide. The millimoles cancel.
Yep, 0.0045, or you could say 4.5 times 10 to the -3rd. Either way.
Which is also 4.5 times 10 to the minus third moles. Same answer.
Yep.
All right. Okay. 12 yards to feet. Okay.
That
All right.
doesn't look like an SI unit to me.
Well, it isn't. You have to have
No,
it.
yeah.
So 12
it works
yards.
it works for non-SI stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I actually use this in the grocery store, and I use this in the hardware store.
Oh, yeah.
When I'm planning projects or if I'm shopping
yeah.
and I want to get the best value,
All
I use
the
dimensional
time.
analysis all the time.
I do too. My wife, who is a nurse, or she used to be a nurse, she would use this all the time to calculate dosages of children to make
yeah.
sure that she would not overdose the children or underdose them, because that would have been very bad.
Yeah.
It could kill them. Okay, so notice I put yards. I'm going to put yards on the bottom again because
Okay,
you need to
because
cancel.
the yards are yeah.
And I want to go to feet. Now,
Yep.
Yards to feet.
Yeah.
Now, that was the one you may not know.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not on the conversion table, but I happen to know what that number is. Maybe you know what that
Yep.
number is.
3 feet in a yard.
So there are 3 feet in 1 yard.
Yep.
Yard's a bigger unit. So they're both on top, so 12 times 3.
12 times
Mr.
3.
Samms.
I'm putting it in the calculator.
That'd be
To
36 feet.
36 feet. Again, just doing what our
Yards
students are doing.
Cancel. Okay, yeah. All right. How about this? Ooh, we got a strange one here. 1.5 times 10 to the 5th. We got significant.
Grams to pounds.
Times 10 to the 5th G. That's the unit for
Yep.
grams.
I actually know this conversion.
I do too. And
But you're old. You know all that
grams
kind of
to
stuff.
pounds, right? So I put the grams. Now I'm going to go back to my chart here. Grams to pounds. Here it is right here.
Yep.
1 pound is 450. We're just going to call it
454.
454 grams is 1 gram. Weighs a little bit, just a tiny amount.
Yeah,
So-
I always think of a gram as a paperclip.
Yep, paperclip's
And a
a
kilogram, well, when I learned it in 1st grade or 4th grade or whenever it was, my teacher brought out a roller skate, and I'll never forget it. Mrs. Johnson had the paperclip, gram, the roller skate, kilogram, and we all passed it around the room.
And felt the difference.
Felt the difference.
Now the 454 is in the bottom, so
Right.
you're going to need to cancel
All right,
the grams.
let's put this in calculator. 1.5 second EE, 5
divided by 454.
divided by 454 gives us 330.3964758
And that would be pounds.
pounds.
So that's correct, right?
No.
What's wrong?
Well,
I think we have too many
We have
significant
too many
digits.
significant
So let's
figures.
appropriately round this. So we have
Yes.
2 significant digits in the 1.5 number,
Yep.
and 454 has 3 significant
so our answer
digits.
needs 2 significant figures.
330.
330 it is.
330 pounds. Now that 0 right here is not
Not
significant.
significant. Now
I
it's
do
part
not-
of the number. It's not 33.
Right.
It's 330, but that 0 is not significant.
That's correct.
All right.
All right, let's do a couple more. 32 centimeters to feet. So 32, actually 0.4 centimeters over 1. Now I want to convert from centimeters to feet.
Right.
And actually, I'm going to do this in a different way because
Yeah,
I want
let's
to do a
do
multi.
2 steps here.
All right, this is a dimensional analysis practice. Let's go back here. So
2.54 centimeters and 1 inch.
So we know this is inches, and then inches in a foot we know. I know there's another way to do this, guys, using this fraction, but we want to do a multi-step problem because you need to see that. Okay, so I'm going to go centimeters, put the unit centimeters. So actually I'm going to go from centimeters to inches, and then inches to feet. So centimeters to inches.
Now notice that little chart, the kind of flow chart with the arrows he made up at the top. I always come up with a game plan. What am I going to convert to what first? And then I go look for the conversions.
Yep, that's indeed. So, and I know that there are 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch, or you get that from the table. I happen to have it memorized. You probably, we just saw that.
Yep.
And now I can make another
more railroad
fraction.
track.
And I see inches are here on the top, so I'm going to put inches on the bottom, and I'm going to put feet on the top. And we did that just a minute ago. There was, of course, 12 inches in 1 foot. Now my inches cancel, and I'm left with feet.
Okay.
Now, this is a very important thing to understand. We have two numbers, and they're both on the bottom. So on your calculator, you're going to push divide, divide.
Right, so 32.4 divided by 2.54 divided by 12. Do not hit the multiply sign. Okay, 1.062992.126.
I'll stop there. All right.
3 sig figs.
I see 3 sig figs. Now, wait a second, Mr. Sams. There's 12 inches in a foot. Isn't that 2 sig figs?
That is an exact number.
Yeah.
So there are exactly 12 inches in 1 foot. So
12.0000000. So the key thing is when you're rounding, folks, actually, in terms of sig figs.
Basically based on your initial measurement.
Your first measurement.
Yeah, don't let your conversion factors
I'm going to round that to
your
3 digits, which would be the 6, the 1.06. That 2 right there does not round that. So that'll be 1.06 feet.
Guys, let me... All right, guys, don't make the mistake of hitting the times button. Let me show you what not to do. Don't go 32.4 divided by 2.54 times 12. Okay, that doesn't work. It works if you use parentheses, but just don't do it. Okay, you get the wrong answer.
Are divided.
Right, 32.4 divided by 2.54 divided by 12.
And
that's how you put it in.
If you got a problem like this with it has 30 of these things and you got 20 of them that are on the bottom, you divide.
Right. Multiply on the top.
And every number
divide the bottom.
That's the rule. Look at the rules. You wrote down the rules. I think we got a couple more examples. All right, we go inches to miles. Ooh, this is an interesting one. So I've got 5.5 times 10 to the 5th inches over 1. And I want to convert to miles. Now, I don't think I know how many inches are in a mile.
No, but I know there's 12 inches in a foot.
So I can go from inches to feet.
And I know how many feet are in a mile because we live in Colorado.
Yeah.
So we all know that.
Well, now it's just an easy. We're just going to do the math here.
All right.
So I'm going to say inches. Notice I'm putting the letters first, the units. Inches to feet. Well, we know that. There's 12 inches in a foot. And the inches cancel. And now I just make another fraction. Now the feet's on the top, so go feet to miles.
There, miles on the top.
And so there's 5,280. Denver's called the Mile High City.
Step number 13 on the capital.
There you go.
All right.
And feet to feet.
Okay.
So now, this is both on the bottom. So
they are. Okay, so 5.5, second EE.
Don't forget the
5. We're not using the times. We're not using the 10. We're not using the caret. We're second EE. 5.5, second EE, 5. Divided by 12. Divided by 5,280. Enter. 8.68. No, 8.7. 2 sig figs.
8.68, and that would be miles, or we can only keep 2 sig figs because of this, so it would be 8.7 miles.
All right.
Okay. All right, now let's do a nasty one. All right, how about years to minutes?
It looks fun.
4.5 times 10 to the minus 5th.
I'm going to let you write. I'm going to go get a drink of water. I'll be right back.
Over 1, and I want to convert that to minutes. Now I need to go plan here. So I need to go from years to, I'll probably go to days, right? Days to hours, and then hours to minutes. So this is going to have an additional fraction. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go years to days. Okay, so if you remember, there's 364? 65.
You're not done yet?
Days in a year.
I'll come back.
All right. Years cancel. And then I'm going to go from days to hours. So I can say a day versus an hour. Notice I do the letters first. Of course, we know there's 24 hours in 1 day. Days cancel now. And now I go from hours to minutes. Hours down the bottom, and then minutes. And of course, we know there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. And the hours cancel, and that will give me the answer. So now, Mr. Sam's going to type it in. You got set up finally? I do.
All right, what do we got?
4.5 double E.
Second EE.
-5. Times 365.
It's 365.
Times 24.
Times 24.
Times 60.
Times 60. And we don't have to do anything with ones. 23.652 is our calculator answer.
So that'd be minutes.
Minutes.
Now, is that the correct answer?
No.
Round
we want two significant
2.
figures.
So we're going to just call that 24 minutes. Not terribly difficult. Okay.
Hey!
I think we're done.
I think we're
James.
done.
A lot of math today, so sorry.
Yep.
But that's it.
Gotta learn it, guys. The most important thing you'll do all year.
Yes, indeed.